we are going to train 100,000 Christian ambassadors to be ambassadors in their own country for the state of Israel, to defend Israel's brand and to combat anti-Semitism. Now, the beautiful part about this is we're partnering with Blackboard. Blackboard is the largest platform in the world, serving Harvard, Yale, all the major universities. They're using adaptive learning technology. So we'll train these wonderful Christian evangelicals so that they can fulfill what I am doing for the state of Israel. Secondly, we're creating FAZ-I, an online academy to train tens of millions of evangelicals. The power of the evangelical muscle is enormous. It represents almost 1 billion people. But no one ever harnessed it. And we're doing that here. We're creating the first evangelical think tank, the first evangelical research institute, so the state of Israel will know who they are and how they can contribute to the state of Israel. We're, of course, a social network campus and much more. So that's exciting for us. The second thing I want to announce is that our Friends of Zion Museum, we are going to build the Donald Trump exhibition. No president in American history has done more for the state of Israel than Donald Trump. The media center is indeed a gift to Israel. You can use it, Ambassador Friedman, you can use it for any event you want for the foreign ministry, etc., because we are doing this all for Israel. It's all about Israel.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 3 and verse 8. It reads, I know thy works. Behold, I have set before thee an open door, and no man can shut it. For thou hast a little strength, and hast kept my word, and hast not denied my name. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews, and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is your brother Kahan from the GMS Prophetic Vibration Camp here in Trinidad with another edification through the power and spirit of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai Ba'asham Rakaha Kwadash. Alright, so hey. So first and foremost, I would like to give all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rakah Kodash, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai. Double honors unto the apostles, the bishops, the elders, a great milestone that rule well. Salutation unto the brothers who preaching and teaching this truth throughout the four corners of the earth, risking their lives and their freedom to do so no more than ever. Shalom unto the speckled bird Israelites, and shalom unto the very few but faithful Akwat, which is his sisters that listening and learning. What is anti-Semitic? What is anti-Semitic? Let's ask Grok, what is anti-Semitic? And we will see, when we get the answer, we will see if it goes according to scripture, if anti-Semitic is something that is scriptural. All right, so bear with me. What's this? What go on there? A matter of fact, let's ask I don't know what going on with Grok playing the fool. Let's go to this here. What do I call it? AI overview. What is All right. What is anti-Semitism? Anti-Semitic. All right. Anti-Semitism is prejudice, hatred, or discrimination against ish people based on negative stereotypes, conspiracy theories, or religious biases. It can manifest as verbal, physical, or online attacks against ish individuals, institutions, or property, and includes historical persecution and modern political dehumanizing or racist forms. Usage examples: conspiracy theories spread in myths that the ish people have excessive power, control the media, or dominate global finance. And that is not no conspiracy. That ain't no lie. That is facts. All right, that is facts. All right, stereotyping, utilizing grotesque or dehumanizing stereotypes such as depicting ish people with exaggerated features, scapegoating, blah 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 blah. All right, so we get the idea of what is anti-Semitism or anti-Semitic and what have you, so forth. But the thing about it is, this is the question you want to ask yourself. First thing first, let's go to this here. I'm going to, right, going to this here. All right, Semitic refers to a group of languages including Arabic, Hebrew, Aramaic, and Aramaic, and the peoples primarily from the Middle East and North Africa who speak them. The term is derived from biblical Shem. Watch this. The term is derived from biblical Shem. So it is Shemitic, not Semitic, right? It is Shemitic. But you see the witchcraft of words. There's a reason why I'm going to all this here before I get all into the nitty gritty. All right, so the word is Semitic. All right, from biblical Shem, son of Noah, who is used to describe ancient and modern cultures, including Arabs, Hebrews, and Assyrians. So good. So watch this. Watch this. This is what I call, let's label these things witchcraft of words, because you see now, if you do not have the wisdom, the knowledge, and understanding, all right, of the scriptures, all right, and you're being caught. You do not have the understanding of the scriptures, and you're being caught by the witchcraft of words. All right, you'll be living under a spell. All right, you'll be caught within their spell that they have that they cast upon you. All right, because as you're seeing here, the term Semitic, which is actually Shemitic, all right, it derived from the biblical it came from Shem, all right, one of Noah's son. All right, it goes back to biblical timing. And when you go through the lineage of Shem, all right, there's quite a number of nations, not just only the children of Israel, all right, because not all Israelites is Jews. First to begin with, not all Israelites is Jews. The Jews is referred to as the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. All right, the northern kingdom, they were not called Jews. All right, so there's numerous nations that derive from Shem. All right, such as the Elamites, all right, the Arabs, the Ishmaelites, all right, the what do you call them again, boy? The Midianites, all right, the Assyrians, okay, even the Edomites, all right, even the Edomites, they are also of the lineage of Shem. So the Jews, okay, the Jews, which is the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, all right, they are not the only people to come out of Shem, all right. And as I say, not all Israelites is Jews, but the Jews, they are Israelites. So where I'm getting at, the point that I'm getting at, is that the word anti-Semitic is a word of witchcraft. All right? Is a word of witchcraft. So what is anti-Semitic? Anti-Semitic or anti-Semitism in truth and reality, it is witchcraft. All right? It is a spell and witchcraft. All right? Because the Jews, the Jews, I want to say the Jews, I'm speaking of the true Jews, not those people over there who call themselves Jews but are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. All right? The Jews are not the only people from Shem. All right? So what I'm saying when I say the true Jews, I'm speaking of the so-called Negroes, all right, that came here through the transatlantic slave trade. But on the flip side of things, where the perpetrators of this witchcraft of word, all right, which is those people in the land there, all right, who call themselves Jews but are not, but are the synagogue of Satan, they too, all right, they are descendants of Esau, Amalek. That's who they are. They are the Amalekites, all right. They are the Amalekites. And Amalekites, they also derive from Shem. Okay? Amalekites derive from Shem because why? Esau is there. Esau goes all the way back to the lineage of Shem. Alright? That's why the scripture says, study to show thyself approved. So now, the point what I'm getting at here, alright? These Christians, these dumb, foolish, dotish Christians, all right, that been so caught up under the spell, under the witchcraft of words, all right, by this word called anti-Semitic and anti-Semitism and whatnot, so forth, which is a whole ploy, all right, a whole ploy by these Amalekites, all right. A whole ploy by these Amalekites that they invented and whatnot, so forth. All right, to put a spell on the masses. All right, so that they could use that as a defensive mechanism. That when they are being caught in their wickedness and called out for their wickedness and what have you, so forth. All right. They could use that as a defensive mechanism to shade you, to put you in a bad light, so to speak. All right? Like for instance, your boy like Kyrie Irving and Kanye West and whatnot, even the latest Tucker Carlson, they want to label him an anti-Semite and this and that and the other. But you see, the thing is, you have to know the meaning of words. And you have to know the etymology, you have to understand the meaning of words and what have you, so forth. So, going back to the clip, where that Edomite, all right, along with all these Christian pastors and what have you, so forth, and Bibi in attendance, Benjamin not a Jew, in attendance, where they're speaking of what? That they're going to train 100,000 evangelists throughout the world to combat anti-Semitism in the lands where they reside and what have you, so forth. You understand? It just shows that these Amalekites, they are being exposed on such a high level that they will stop at nothing and spare no course. All right? Spare no course. Spare no course to keep their identity hidden. All right? To continue to fool the masses. All right? And have the world suck up to them. Have the world suck up to them. All right? Whilst they continue to do their wickedness and bring forth their Zionist agenda. That is basically what it is. So here what? I'm going to go to the book, Who is Esau, Edom, the Spirit? As a long while, some years now, I do any lessons on this book, Who is Esau, Edom. So I'm going to go to the book, Who is Esau, Edom. And this book is directly addressing this thing called anti-Semitism and exposing it for what it truly is. So we is going to read, and after we are going to go through the scriptures, and filter it out to the scriptures and what have you, so forth. All right. So without further ado, bear with me. All right, so this is it here. All right, so this is from the book, Who is Esau, Edom? Okay, we are at page 63, and we're going to do some reading here. All right, so anti-Semitism, this is what we're dealing with here. All right, as you can see the heading there, anti-Semitism in the bold type in there. Okay, so it says the term anti-Semitism has been used by the Ish people, the small hats, to counter and conceal the Most High's natural order and plan in the world, an order which has assigned to the small hats the role of aggressor, hater, destroyer, seducer, invader, and corrupter by simply calling one anti-Semitic. The small hats attempt to put that's not see so watching something there. That's not about me. Let's admit that. All right. Attempt to put all blame for conflict on the other party. In other words, is those Arabs or those Palestinians or the Germans that are the haters and aggressors, when in fact it is the small hats. Writing in the American Hebrew, Jesse H. Holmes stated, it can hardly be an accident that antagonism directed against the small hats is to be found pretty much everywhere in the world, all right, where small hats and non-small hats are associated. So basically, they're trying to put us, they're putting it in a way, like, hey, everybody hates us, and everybody, is against us, and whatnot, so forth, and whatnot, so forth, because we are God's chosen people, and whatnot, so forth, and these are the people that is causing all the havoc, and whatnot, so forth, in the world, and whatnot, but really and truly, it's them. It says, and as the small hats are the common element of the situation, it would seem probable that the cause will be found in them rather than in the widely varying groups which feel this antagonism. The result of this name-calling tactic is to focus the attention, all right, on the effect of the conflict and not as it is caused. The cause is always some obnoxious trait of the small heart that precipitates conflict and action against the small heart. The small hearts then say that it is anti-Semitism or unwarranted small heart hatred. Yet the hatred or action against the small heart is a natural response. Yeah, because people see you for what you are, for who you are. Writing under the chapter title of Jew hatred, small heart hatred as a natural instinct, Samuel Root states, anti-Semitism, all right, or small heart hatred is so instinctive that it may quite simply be called one of the primal instincts of mankind, one of the important instincts by which the race helps to preserve itself against total destruction. I cannot emphasize the matter too strongly. Anti-Semitism is not, as small hearts have tried to make the world believe, an active prejudice. It is a deeply hidden instinct with which every man is born. He remains unconscious of it, as of all other instincts of self-preservation, until something happens to awaken it. Just as when something flies in the direction of your eyes, the eyelids close instantly and of their own accord. So swiftly and surely it is the instinct of anti-Semitism awakening man. People see it for where it is. There is not a single instance when the small hearts have not fully deserved the bitter fruit of the fury of their persecutors. All right, it says, the small heart, like Esau, all right, because they is who they are, they are the descendants of Esau. The small heart, like Esau, has revolted against the Most High's order, and all are justified who do act against the small heart in this regard. All right? Because you can't expect to be doing wickedness and don't get called out for your wickedness. Come on, that's oxymoron. All right? This is where it is. The scripture said to condemn the wicked, and they are the wicked. Thus it would seem as if the grievance of the anti-Semites were well founded. The small heart spirit is essentially a revolutionary spirit, and consciously or otherwise, the small heart is a revolutionist. What we actually have in the world is Esau, who is the hater and aggressor, trying to conceal from the world his identity and innate attributes. All right, and there's where it is. This is the reason why they come up with that term. All right, so that anybody who speaks out against them and expose them, all right, this term will be automatically attached to them, all right, and they have their media and all and whatnot, so forth, you know, and they will use their tools, the media and whatnot, you know, to hammer down on the individual who is exposing them, to suppress the truth. Actually, so basically, anti-Semitism, all right, anti-Semitism is actually a suppressor of truth, all right, because this is where it is. They're doing their utmost best to hide their true identity. Yeah, that's why I will go to the scripture here. I will read from the hard copy, filter through the scriptures. Let's go to Jeremiah 49. And 10. All right, Jeremiah 49 and 10, where it reads, but I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places. All right. So we are in a time where the Lord is exposing. All right, the Lord is exposing these devils. As the scripture said, then shall that what? Then shall that wicked be revealed. All right. So it reads, but I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. They can label how much anti-Semitism and this and that and the other, but the truth is out there. All right? The truth is out there, and there is nothing that they could do to suppress and stop the truth. All right? Because at the end of the days, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is in control, and he is the one that is bringing out the truth. All right? So it says, and he shall not be able to hide himself, his seed is spoiled, his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. When it says he is not, it means the Lord is going to get rid of him entirely. All right? Next scripture I will go to is Luke 12. Luke 12 and 2, where it reads, Luke 12 and 2, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be made known. All right, that shall not be known. You understand? There is where it is here. All right. So it says, yeah. So what we actually have in the world is Esau, who is the hater and aggressor, trying to conceal from the world his identity and innate attributes. If Esau's true identity and traits become publicly known, he would once again be powerless in the world. All right? He would once again be powerless in the world because they thrive in secrecy. All right? They establish themselves, and their power is in secrecy. All right? Their power is in secrecy. Their main source of power. All right? The small hats have inherited these attributes of Esau and frantically try to silence anyone who would reveal them. The anti-Semitic charge, along with the hate laws, all right, like your APAC, all right, and your Anti-Defamation League and whatnot, so forth, all right. These organizations that they set up, to bring about hate laws and hate speech and whatnot, so forth, and this and that and the other, is actually really and truly to suppress the truth. Because as the scriptures say, let me get that scripture now come to my head, which is Galatians, Galatians 6. Is it Galatians 6? Or is Galatians 4 and 16? Yeah, Galatians 4 and 16, where it reads, Galatians 4 and 16. Oh, sorry about that. All right, Galatians 4 and 16, where it reads, am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? You understand? And there is where it is. All right. It's all about suppressing the truth. The hate laws is all gathered, to combat the truth. All right, but they can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth, as the scripture said. All right. So continuing, right. The anti-Semitic charge, along with the hate laws, is a tool. All right, the small hat uses in defense of its offensive, hostile, revolutionary, and anti-Christian nature. If it can be insinuated that one charged with anti-Semitism is the hater and aggressor, an emotional response of the masses can be directed against that individual. You understand? Because again, the witchcraft of words, the world has fallen under the spell of the witchcraft of words. There is what it is. You understand? The world has been fallen under the spell of the witchcraft of words. So when an individual, like for instance us, the Hebrew Israelites, all right, the Hebrew Israelites. We speak out against them and expose them on a daily basis. All right? And there was a individual, a lady, all right? I think she's a high-level member within APAC and whatnot, so forth, you know, where she was saying the greatest threat to these small hats and whatnot is not Hamas and not these other terrorist groups, so, you know, who they label as terrorist groups and what have you, so forth. You know, it's not them, but us, but the young so-called black men within America and what have you, so forth. And what they really meant to say is the men who are out on the highways and byways preaching this truth, because they know how detrimental this truth is to them. You understand? So that's why they will go far and beyond, you know, to try to suppress the truth, you know, and shift the goalposts, you know, and whatnot, so forth, and call us, you know, bigots, you know, haters. We only spreading hate and this and that and the other, and we anti-Semitic and whatnot, so forth. But how, they ask, could we be anti-Semitic when we also came from the lineage of Shem? There is not one race alone that came out from the loins of Shem. All right? The Elamites, which is the so-called East Indians, they are Shemites. All right? The so-called East Indians and the Pakistanis and whatnot, so forth, they are Elamites. The people of Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, all right? They are Elamites. The people of Iran, they are Elamites. They are Shemites. All right? The Arabs, the children of Ishmael, they are Shemites. All right? As I called out, you know, Esau himself is also Shemite, not just only the small hatters. All right? The so-called Europeans and the so-called white men of Europe and of America and Canada and whatnot, so forth, and those that throughout Central and South America and whatnot, so forth, you know, they are also Shemites. All right? The so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, they from the lineage of Shem also too. The Assyrians, all right, the Assyrians, they came from Shem. Yeah? But you see, you know, again, the witchcraft of words is all about trying to hide their identity, who they truly are. That's why I will go to the scripture here, and I will go back to some more reading, which is Isaiah. Yes, now, bear with me. Isaiah 29. No hard copy here. I will be staying in the hard copy here. Isaiah 29 and 15, where it reads, "Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us?" They think they think over the years, you know, all what they have been doing and what have you, so forth, you know, and all the leaps and bounds that they are going to hide their identity and what have you, so forth, you know, keep it a secret. They think that, you know, they wouldn't be found out, but they are being found out, all right, by the prophets. All right, by the prophets. It take the prophets to really find out who these people are through the Rakah Kodash. All right, it take the prophets to really find out who these people are and expose them for who they truly are. It says, so it says, if it can be insinuated that one charged with anti-Semitism is the hater and aggressor, an emotional response of the masses can be directed against that individual, forcing him to either silence or loss of status in society, business, or politics. All right, and we see that goes on We see that carry about, we see that take place on many occasions, many occasions. And this just proves to show who rules the world. This just goes to show and proves who is really in control of the world. All right? You want to know who control the world? All right? Find out who you cannot speak out against. If you want to know who is controlling the world, find out who you cannot speak out against and criticize and expose on a high level, and see the repercussions that is going to come after. And then he's going to know how much influence and who is really ruling this world. All right? So it says, ever since the small hats invented the libel charge of anti-Semitism in the 1880s, it has been built up with small hat money, all right, organizations, all right, propaganda. Propaganda goes into what? The media, all right, because they control all the media, all these major media houses and whatnot, so forth, within Babylon the Great and throughout the world and what have you, so forth. They have full control. All right, they have major influence with all these major media houses and whatnot, so forth. All right. It says, example, the Holocaust. You all know what I'm speaking about. You understand? So that now the world is like snake venom, which paralyzes one's nervous system. Even the mention of the word small hat is shunned unless used in the most favorable and positive context. Example being God's chosen people. And I saw that with my very, very, very own two eyes with dumbass Christians. All right? When the situation of October 7th had taken place and whatnot, so forth, and not just only there was any Christian church, some dumb niggers, man, two dumb niggers, two brothers from Nigeria, all right, two Biafrans, which they are the true people, all right, you know. But when you speak out against these people, hey, boy, it's like if they want to bust your head. You know, these are God's chosen people and this and that and the other and the other and the other. All that bag of bullcrap. You understand? So it says this stigma exists even with the conservative and right-wing individuals and organizations, along with the Christian churches. All right? Along with the Christian churches, because the Christian churches, they suck up to these people. Like, for instance, here in Trinidad, the Universal Church. Oh boy. They suck up to these people. You understand? And it's like, you know, these people can do no wrong. You know, these are God's chosen people, this, that, the other. You understand? I am sure there were quite a number of Universal Church pastors that was a part of that seminar that was held with 1,000 pastors from around the world, you know, in that seminar there, you know, learning how to combat anti-Semitism and whatnot, so forth, and how they're going to train 100,000 evangelists. And why go through so much? If you are the chosen people and you are God's truth, why go through all of that? Why spend so much of money, you understand, and whatnot, so forth, just to seek, how to put this, boy, acceptance, to seek acceptance from the world. Yeah? Why go through that? The scripture saying John, let me see, boy. Is John, I know it's a one in John. John 15. John 15 and 16. And 18. John 15 and 18, where it reads, if the world hate you, all right, if the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love his own, but because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, that the world hateth you. Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. All right, so the point where I'm getting at is that the world hating you should never be a bother to you. All right? The scripture speaks of why trim thy ways to seek love. All right, I think that is in Jeremiah. All right, why seek thy way why trim thy ways to seek love? All right, so why go through all of that? Why you go? Why if you are the Lord's chosen people and what have you, so forth, this, that, the other? Why go through all of that stuff? You understand? To say to combat those that hate you, when the scripture plainly say that the world will hate you. It just goes to show that you all are not. There's a next one that I wanted was to get. I wonder if I could find it, boy. I think it's 7, John 7. I'm not too sure. No, it's not John 7, boy. I had it highlighted, I had it highlighted as to find it. It's to find it. All right. I would rather forget about that. I don't want to waste time. All right, because I have a couple more readings to do still. All right. So yeah. So it says yeah. So good. So even the mention of the word small hats is shunned unless used in most favorable positive context, example being the Most High chosen people. This stigma exists even with the conservative and right-wing individuals and organizations. They speak of world problems, conflicts, and wars being as caused by the communists or the Zionists or by those international bankers or the CFR or the trilateral organizations, even though there is clear evidence that the small hats are behind all of these movements and organizations. Yeah. The Council of Foreign Relations, the CFR, the trilateral organization, all right, the bankers, the elite bankers and whatnot, so forth, they are all small hats. Watch me. They control every single thing. All right, they control every single thing. And the thing about it is, they fund both sides, both ruling and opposition. All right, they fund both sides of wars, the aggressor and the defender. All right, they fund both sides. All right, it says even though there is clear, the small hats connection is avoided like the bubonic plague. All right. The end result is that those who fear being labeled anti-Semitic will never be effective in exposing the root of the problems in the land. All right. No such fear existed in the Messiah, Yahushua, who boldly spoke against the Talmudic Pharisees face to face in public gatherings. All right? Which is truth. All right? Which is truth. All right? Yahweh Shai, you know, he had no fear towards these people. All right? He spoke boldly against the Pharisees, the scribes and the Pharisees, you know, those sellouts who sold out to the Romans and whatnot, so forth. He was letting them know, it as it is. You understand? So it says, he specifically pointed out their characteristics, stating that they were hypocrites, a generation of vipers full of dead men's bones, all right, of all uncleanness, blind guides, a wicked and adulterous generation full of iniquity, serpents, murderers of their father, the devil. Because of Hamashiach's exposure of the traits and ways of these Talmudic Jews, and he calling them, although it was the true Jews he was speaking to, all right, but the people of today who call themselves Jews, this is what they subscribe to. They subscribe to the Talmud, not the Bible. They subscribe to the Talmud. All right, they subscribe to the Talmud, and a matter of fact, they curse the Messiah. They curse out the Messiah. They hate the Messiah. All right. So it says here in today's, I must see, because of Mashiach's exposure and traits of the ways of the Talmudic small hearts, they could not easily continue in their ungodly practices. These small hearts thus sought to kill him, right? And they get the scripture, the account, and eventually succeeded. In today's thought control world, Yahweh Shai Mashiach would be considered a hater and an anti-Semitic. This is clear, for the small hearts have made it known that the New Testament is the most anti-Semitic book ever written. All right, this is why they don't subscribe to Yahweh Shai. All right, they don't subscribe to Yahweh Shai. These people in the land there, all right, that call themselves the people, they don't subscribe to Yahweh Shai. They don't subscribe to, you know, the disciples and what have you, so forth, the apostles and what have you, so forth. You understand? It says, if the Jew is to live in Christian society, his true nature and attributes must be concealed and censored from the masses. All right? He will hide himself. All right? Because he don't want to be found out. Thus, the Jew states that throughout history, he has been the one persecuted. This is how they portray it. Yeah? This is how they portray it. All right? That they are the one. They always play the victim. This is what it is. They always play the victim. Yet the cause of that persecution, anti-Christian and offensive smaller traits, is never told. And when these traits are concealed, the cause and nature of much of the problems, conflicts, conspiracies, and wars in the world are also concealed. Speaking on these problems, Henry Ford stated, half the confusion which men meet in their efforts to account for the world is due to their ignorance of just where is the small heart. He is always a key. But if the key be disguised, right, as something else, how can it be used? Here we now have the key as to the origin and source for so much of the conflict and friction that is now so prevalent in the world. The two main characters acting on stage in the world have two diametrically opposite value systems and spiritually disposition. And I will leave it as that. There, and let's just go to the scriptures and end this off. Alright, so now I will come to the scriptures here. Alright, I will come to the scriptures here. Alright, and this is the thing here. The scripture that I will get at. You understand? Scripture that I will get at is because I have a list of scriptures here. One that I will get at is Exodus. I'll go straight to the point. Exodus Exodus 17 and verse 14. Exodus 17 and 14, where it reads, And the Lord said unto Moses, Write this for a memorial in a book and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua. All right, this is after the battle that Joshua had fought against the Amalekites and whatnot, so forth, when we had came out of Egypt. All right, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek, which is these people in the land, the small hats, from under heaven. All right. And Moses built an altar and called the name of it Yahweh Nassar. For he said, because the Lord had sworn that the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yoshai, will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. All right? And this is what you're seeing. Hence the reason why, the witchcraft of words, because they're being exposed. You understand? They are being exposed on a high level. Yeah? They are being exposed on such a high level. There is where it is. That they have no choice but to spend exuberant sums of money. All right? Exuberant sums of money just to combat this thing this witchcraft of word called anti-Semitism. Just to combat the exposure, the truth that is coming out against them. You understand? So the higher these pastors and what have you, so forth, and the main ones that they're going to, that the main ones that they're combating, they're coming up against is actually us. All right? Because remember, it's we is the one that bringing out the full 100% truth as pursuing to these people, to who they are, who they truly are, their identity. We are exposing them. All right? So they're hiring all these pastors and what have you, so forth, to come up against us. But what the scripture say pursuant to Proverbs, where it is, boy, 15. No, Proverbs 17 and 15, where it reads, Proverbs 17:15, he that justified the wicked, and he that condemned the just, even they both are an abomination to the Lord. And this is who they are. This is what they are. They are an abomination unto the Lord. All right? These people are an abomination. When I say these people, not just only the Amalekites, these pastors, all right, that is fighting tooth and nail. Tooth and nail. All right? This is where it is. Yeah? This is where it is. All right? But what the Lord said, going to Job, the book of Job 34 and 22, Job 34:22, it reads, there is no darkness nor shadow or death where the workers of iniquity may hide themselves. So they could do all what they want to do to try to hide themselves and work all sorts of iniquity and what have you, so forth, with the witchcraft of words and all these things, but they will continue to be exposed. You understand? They will continue to be exposed. Plain and simple. All right? Going back to Proverbs. Going back to Proverbs 15 and 25. Proverbs 15, 25 and 25, Salakia. The Lord will, highlight this one time. The Lord will destroy the house of the proud, but he will establish the border of the widow. The thoughts of the wicked are an abomination to the Lord, but the words of the pure are pleasant words. You understand? There's where it is here. The Lord is seeing them for all what they're doing. The Lord is seeing them for who they are. The Lord is showing them, Salakia, for who they are. Alright? Showing the world who these people truly are. And everyone is seeing it for who they are. You understand? Everybody is seeing it for who they are. Alright? They just use the scriptures, when I say the scriptures, the Torah as a front and what have you, so forth. But these people are a bunch of demonic, Talmudic, worshipping demons. This is who these people are. These Ish people are. All right? They just use the Torah as a front, and they don't even follow the Torah. They just use it as a front because they go against the Torah. The Talmud goes against the Torah. All right? The Talmud, it goes against the Torah. That's why the Lord had also said this in, tell them this in Psalms, through the mouth of King David, Psalms 50, all right, and 16, I believe. All right, yeah. Psalms 50, 16, where it reads, "But unto the wicked Yahweh said, What hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth?" And this goes both to both the Christians, especially you Edomite Christians, all right, and all you heathen Christians, all right, and Amalek. What have you to do to declare the statutes of Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, and shouldest take his covenant in your mouth? Verse 17, seeing thou hatest instructions. All right, seeing thou hatest instructions and castest thy words behind thee. All right, casted my words, Salakia, behind thee. They don't care. They just use it as a front so that they could benefit. The world could see them. The world could see them. The world watch them as the Most High's chosen people, you know. They fall under that spell and what have you, so forth. You understand? And the Christian pastors, they benefit from it too. You know, they all benefit. All right, they all eat enough food. They all get in a bag. All right, they all get in the bag. There is what it is. Yeah, there is what it is. And I will leave with this last scripture here. All right, I will leave with this last scripture here, which is Numbers. What do you all go in? Numbers 24 and 17. Numbers 20, no, not 17, Numbers 24. Yeah, and 17. Numbers 24, 17, it says, "I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh." All right? "There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel." All right, which is Yahweh Shai. "And shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Seth. And Edom, Edom shall be a possession. Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies. And Israel shall do valiantly. Out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth of the city." And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, "Amalek was the first of the nations." Yeah? "You Amalekites, you Ish people, you small hearts. But his latter end shall be what? Shall be that he perish forever." There is what it is. There is what it is. You understand? And I will leave off with this. I will leave off with another clip. I will end with another clip after the salutation to show you dumb, dotish Christians, yeah, who fighting tooth and nail for these people, but these people could care less about you. These people hate you. They hate you with a passion. Yeah, that's why they spit on you. If they get a chance, they throw feces on you and what have you, so forth. They kick you all off the streets. Yeah, cuff you all off the streets, threaten you all to kill you all and what have you, so forth. You Christians are going over there in the land and whatnot, so forth. They hate you all. You understand? They hate you all. You all fighting tooth and nail for them. But anti-Semitism and all that bag of bullshit. But this is the reward you go. This is the reward they give. They reward you with. Anyhow, this is the brother Kahan from the GMS Prophetic Vibration Camp here in Trinidad, signing out, saying, "Kal halayam la alahayanawa Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai Ba'asham Kodash." Double honors unto the apostles, the bishops, the elders, a great millstone that rule well. Salutation unto the brothers who preaching and teaching this truth through the four corners of the earth, risking their lives and the freedom to do so now more than ever. Shalom unto the speckled bird Israelites, and shalom unto the very few but faithful Akwat. Until then, we say shalom, shalom, shalom.
You ask me something. You and you fucking Jesus can kiss my ass, okay?
Go away.
Screw you. Don't camera, no camera. I break your camera. Don't take picture. Okay? Screw you, you Nazi. You fuck. Don't take camera. I break your camera. Don't take picture. Shabbat shalom, no picture. We don't want picture.
Please.
What?
You can't come in here. This is not your house.
This is not your house.
We kill people, we're proud of it. Where are you?
Did you record that?
Get the fuck out of here. This is my land, you
This is not your land. It belongs to these families.
man, you son of a bitch. I'm gonna kill you and the Palestinians. And for Nazi, you son of a shit.
And for that. Hello.
What? This is my land. God gave it to me. Fuck you.
Go back to that.
Nazi. Call everyone you want. I'll kill you. Bastard. This is my house. This is my land. God gave it to me. And fuck you.